So, Michael, this is for our understanding to like make program better every single time, right? So I also want to make sure to understand your experience so far with these live projects. Do you see any difference? First, like what's your experience so far with these live projects that you're doing with Kunal? And
Yep.
then we'll jump into more details. So would love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share anything and everything with me.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's great. I think this is awesome. I think what y'all are doing is absolutely wonderful. I think the insight is great. So, initial thoughts, I absolutely love the layout, the framework. I love how you guys have it structured in your Jupyter notebook and how High Counselor has it laid out with the projects and the modules. It's wonderful. I think the biggest thing that would help me is when we started the first project and then it didn't work all the way. They had to do some extra coding things. And then we started the second project. We kind of jumped in right to the code. I feel like it would be helpful because I understood the processes of what was happening, but the overall, I didn't really understand what the project was primarily about because there's that nice introduction at the top, but we didn't like read through that introduction and say, hey, this is what we're pretending to be. This is what we're doing. Here's our focus. It was just kind of like, hey, import pandas, and now let's kind of get going. So the technical side was super great. I think maybe just and there's a lot of work, so I could see why maybe it's a little bit rushed. Seemed a little bit rushed and kind of quick, kind of like, all right, got it, let's go. And Kunal was great about helping me understand, and I'd say yes, I understand. But by and large, I think just the idea of what we're doing, at least at the very beginning, to me, could have been a little more engaging. Like, hey, we're doing this credit card thing. Let's read this description, any questions, kind of thing before we start would be a
Mm-hmm.
big thing for me. After we got into it, man, it was wonderful. Kunal does such a great job. Like he answers any and all questions. He's very very thorough. Um, he'll answer things multiple times. He asks questions to help engage feedback and how we're learning in that. That's all been really good, and just the one-on-one or the one on I guess two, because Maya was there a few times, has been really beneficial. So as far as only having two sessions and seeing what kind of get my feet wet that way, I'm very excited and am learning a ton already. Looking back over the recording was helpful. It's great, really
Okay,
good.
great. Okay, no, by the way, this feedback is taken and and I personally believe, right, whenever anybody has to start a project, it's very important to like understand the business context of it, right?
Yeah,
I'm a great believer in that, but sometimes the super technical people they just right jump into the technical details.
yeah, yeah, right.
But I'll definitely talk to Kunal about that, and he'll be more than happy to like give you guys a more thorough understanding of the business context. By the way, I come from background in the Big Four consulting. I worked with Deloitte and PwC for about five
Yeah,
years. So there we were more concerned about the business problem and the business scenario before jumping into like the technical details, right? So
yeah,
I totally understand your situation. Okay, great. Also want to understand, Michael, what is your current career right now? What is your current professional career at
yeah.
the moment? And which role are you trying to definitely you're trying to jump into data science role, but even in data science role, what specific role you're trying to get into?
Sure. So where I'm at right now, so I just moved here. I came out of working at Target in middle management. I was kind of like a warehouse lead there and learned a lot of awesome soft skills and whatnot. I currently work as a parts manager at a local Ford dealership here in a small town. So I don't utilize a lot of what I'd like to. Excel heavy, but no real SQL, Python, anything like that through my job. So primarily after graduating from Oregon State with my BS in business analytics, my mindset has been how can I help businesses solve problems through data in a real way. So honestly, we say it seems like data science is like a far out kind of deal, but really my honest goal right now is if I could get an entry level job using data or Python or something just to literally practice those skills and then eventually get there. But small scale using Excel, I've been able to build little, models here and there and things through Excel dashboards and whatnot that have straight up helped this business locally, streamline some of the processes and stuff. So my mindset is what can I take and how can I legitimately make a business, big or small, just a little bit better? And I love that. And I just want to be able to use data a little bit more than just Excel in the workplace. So that's why I come to guys like you and I try to figure out, hey, what real world projects can I get? How can I leverage myself? Because I have the soft skills and the presentation skills, the leadership skills, all those things from Target, working the corporate ladder there, and then graduating in data. I'm like, okay, so I've got a little bit here. We're expanding it. just trying to grow and those technical skills as well, but just trying to position myself. I don't think I have to be a SQL expert to help a business in data. I just need to position myself in a way where I can get my foot in the door. Doesn't got to be 100K. I'm talking like not
Mhm.
salary's not a big deal. I just want to help people in data, and I know it's saturated right now. But I've got something to offer, so that's where I kind of put myself out there and just seeing even where that takes me. Data scientist, yeah, maybe sometimes down the road, but I think more on the lines of data analyst, business analyst, even in like the healthcare industry, supply chain industry is where I work, like with Target, supply chain analyst. Those are my aspirations right now.
Mhm. And I think that that's a great thought process because most of the people like, oh, I just want another like 100K job, right? Rather
Yeah,
than you're more focused about like helping businesses. Okay. So after doing these some of the real world projects, I would like to learn what additional things that you have learned or right or some hands-on experience or confidence that you have gained, which you did not have prior to coming to the platform.
sure. Currently, right now,
Yep.
well, for technical skills, for one, just general learnings in Python. So technical skills that way, or even like the RFM analysis was huge for me that I just learned. And from High Counselor specifically, this only being my third session and second actual live training, I'd say probably just like technical Python skills have probably been the biggest thing. And then one big thing is when we were talking to Kanal yesterday, I did not understand exactly what interviewers were looking for as far as potential candidates. He gave us five different areas. I'm probably not going to remember all off the top of my head right now, but it was pretty much problem solving, critical thinking, understanding the industry and their lingo. And then there was two other ones, but I remember thinking, man, this is a gold mine because I did not think about those in that way. Everyone says, yeah, be a problem solver, but he took it a step further and said, hey, you've got a big task. How do we break it down? Everyone thinks critically, but what does that mean? Like, why are we doing what we're doing? Like understanding the why helps you to be a critical thinker. That's what critical thinking is. So I'd say some of those have been huge from these projects. And then, like I said, the technical Python skills have just been invaluable. If even something simple like Mayo asked about what in place equals true meant yesterday, I had a general idea, but the way Kunal broke it down was just very clear to my brain, and I'm like, hey, perfect. It makes great sense. So yeah,
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for the feedback, Michael. Really appreciate it. So let's schedule this session for Monday, and I'll talk to Kunal just to give him a little bit idea on how he can focus a little bit more on business
yeah,
before jumping into technical details. And always feel free to give us feedback. Our objective is, look, Michael, $300 plus or minus doesn't matter much, right? We are at a
yeah,
stage in our company where our objective is to make a few handful of the candidates really, really successful who do not come from a hardcore technical background,
yeah,
right?
great.
Making you successful, that is our biggest objective. You'll see that in Kunal's teaching as well,
Yeah,
right? So feel free to give us your feedback at any time. And even once you complete this course, right? We would love to stay in touch with you to see where you're going on in your journey, whether you're able to
yeah.
land a job or not, right? So we're always there to support you there as well. Okay.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Y'all are doing a
Thank
great job.
you.
It's wonderful.